Good evening, Bahamas. Coming up tonight.
Wells responds to criticism over the post office move to Town Center Mall.
The BCPOU files a trade dispute against BTC.
Our News is brought to you by Alive.
Welcome to Our News and thanks for joining us. I'm Kyle Joaquim. Top news tonight. The Bahamas Communication and Public Officers Union has filed a trade dispute against BTC amid growing tension at the telecoms company. The union president said they've taken huge issue with the company's CEO and the treatment of BTC employees.
We have certain tools in our toolbox, and we're gonna continue to utilize them until we get our voices heard.
BCPOU President Dino Rolls stopping short of saying exactly what, if any, type of industrial action his union would take at BTC. There has been increased tension at the telecoms company since Liberty Latin America CEO Balin Nair was caught on camera speaking about BTC's underperformance and joking about a meeting with the Prime Minister. Though he has since apologized, Roll wants him and BTC CEO Garfield Sinclair gone.
He so freely expressed with our shared CEO, Mr. Garfield Sinclair, right in the room, in the back of the room, clapping. You know, that's an unsettling feeling for us at BTC. And so we here working for and on behalf of these people, we don't feel that we're getting the kind of respect that the employees deserve here in BTC.
BTC CEO Garfield Sinclair recently told the National Guardian, "It's fatal to fight amongst ourselves in public. It's fatal in the eyes of customers. It's fatal in the eyes of our competitor who is just licking their chops at this." He continued, "And when you're a monopoly and don't have competitors, fine. But when you do, this kind of infighting and behavior is fatal and cannot be where the idea is, let's just burn down the whole thing if we don't sort of get what we want, particularly when what we want is opaque at best."
I don't see how Mr. Sinclair could equate that us taking a dissenting view could bring the company at the brink of collapse or could cause the company to be in a fatal position. That speaks very little about the contribution that Mr. Sinclair is bringing to the table.
Rolls said when it comes to BTC's underperformance, the employees aren't to blame, rather the head.
This company was always managed by them. The CEO and the CFO, the CTIO, those are positions that belong to Cable and Wireless and subsequently Liberty Latin America. And so we say that if there's any inefficiency in this company, it starts at the top.
Well, PLP Chairman Fred Mitchell is blasting Labor Minister Dion Folks for his silence on the matter. He says Folks needs to be more aggressive. Giorgio Bain has that.
Following comments by Bahamas Telecommunications Company Chief Executive Officer Garfield Sinclair that infighting among the company and its unions could be fatal to all involved, PLP Chairman Fred Mitchell said he was shocked by Sinclair's statements and said he felt that they were insensitive to workers and the Bahamian people.
We were all shocked this morning at the words of the CEO, I guess it is, of BTC. To just come off as shockingly insensitive. This man and the person who's his boss just appear to be inept, bumbling, insulting. They just don't get it. BTC has failed the Bahamian public. There is no one in this country that believes that the workers of BTC are responsible for the failures of BTC.
Mitchell said in his opinion the failures of the company are directly related to the company's management.
And a decision by this company to extract profits out of this country to the exclusion of the development of the telecommunications and data infrastructure over which they have responsibility. It is shameful and they ought to desist.
Mitchell criticized fellow Senator, Minister of Labor Dion Folks, and said these tense labor situations call for a more aggressive labor minister.
One of the criticisms the Progressive Liberal Party has had about the Minister of Labor is that he's not aggressive enough in the labor marketplace to intervene where he needs to intervene. We just came back from Matthewtown in Agua, and the dispute which is taking place with Morton Salt and its workers is one example of that.
Mitchell added that when he was the Minister of Immigration, he didn't tolerate the Bahamian people being insulted and recommended that the Minister of Labor have Sinclair removed to maintain order at the company.
Minister of Labor or the Minister of Immigration ought to have a quiet word with these companies and have these people removed from here, because it is not conducive to the good order and conduct of business of this company.
Reporting for R News, I'm Giorgio Bay.
All right, thanks, Giorgio. Well, Transport Minister Renwood Wells is refuting claims that the old Phil's Food Services building was a viable option for the General Post Office. His comments come weeks after an independent report resurfaced claiming that the building only needed minor work. Jillian Gray has more.
Though the deal has been shrouded in criticism, Minister Renwood Wells says he stands firm on the decision that the government made to move the General Post Office to Town Center Mall.
No one disagrees that the post office is in the right place. The place where it is the right place. As a matter of fact, the opposition thought that the center where it is was so right, they decided they didn't want to go there because of whatever reasons in the Town Center Mall. So where they went? Did they go to the west end of the island or the east end of the island? No, they went right across the road in the Independence Shopping Center.
Since announcing the decision last year, the Minnis administration has been slammed by the opposition for leasing the Town Center Mall from former Cabinet Minister Brent Simonet. Now, despite that criticism, Wells says he doesn't think the deal is a stumbling block for the administration. In a resolution passed in the House of Assembly last October to lease the Town Center Mall, Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis said Simonet did not take part in the discussions leading to the decision. However, on a recent talk show, Simonet said the Prime Minister called him personally, and they discussed the deal. Wells refused to comment on the matter, but maintained that the deal was not done in secret.
It was adjudicated in the High Court of Parliament. Ain't nobody was ducking under no rock, hiding nothing. It was there for all the Bahamian people to see, for people to ask questions, for the opposition to debate. And so at the end of the day, what are we debating? Tit for tat, butter for fat. You kill my dog, I kill your cat. Come on, let's be serious.
The workers moved into the Town Center Mall in May. In July, the Attorney General said he could not confirm if the lease was signed. The opposition has called for that lease to be made public, and to that, Wells had this to say.
Listen, we've signed the lease. What else is out there to be known? Other than we told you all how much we was paying for $12 a square foot.
So the government doesn't
It's 56,000 square feet. You know, the resolution gives us the opportunity to get up to 75,000 square feet of space.
So for the lease, so are you going to table the lease?
That's a discussion that has to be taken at another level, and then we will be able to get back with you.
Now, while an independent report claimed that the previously identified site, Phil's Food Store, only needed minor remedial work and could safely be utilized for approximately another 20 to 25 years without any major maintenance, Wells said that's not so. Again, pointing to technical issues he says would have caused them not to be able to use the facilities.
The second floor mezzanine that was inside the Phil's building, completely gone. No more second floor, completely gone because of structural issues. Okay, electrical system gutted. This isn't something that we hit. We spoke to this in the House of Assembly.
Reporting for our News, I'm Julian Gray.
Officials from Swiss-based MSC Cruises today detailing plans for their private island just south of Bimini. Executive Chairman of MSC Cruises, Pierre Francisco Vago, gave a breakdown of how $300 million was spent to transform the island from an industrial site to an island paradise with the help of 300 Bahamian construction workers. Jasmine Brown reports.
Today's press conference came moments after cruise officials met with the Prime Minister at Cabinet. Obviously, we received not only a welcome, but all the support for the bureaucratic machine to ensure that we achieve the status of marine reserve and to achieve the various paperwork that needs to be done within the different the ministries of the government. So the Prime Minister, I'm sure you know, is a conservationist himself.
The press conference and that meeting with Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis came 4 months before the island welcomes its first cruise ship. Vago told reporters that the $300 million investment is nearly quadruple the initial amount they had planned on investing. He says the jump from $80 million to $300 million is not unusual when they had to rebuild an entire island from scratch.
We started shaping the island and we created the Ocean Key. Ocean Key, which is turned to be an incredible story.
MSC is the latest cruise line company to announce plans for a major development in the Bahamas. Their private island Ocean Key MSC Marine Reserve, which is located just 20 miles from the coast of Bimini, was once an industrial sand extraction site. MSC Cruises head of global port development and shore activities, Gianluca Suprani, says hundreds of Bahamians were employed during the construction phase.
During the construction phase, we reached a peak of more than 600 workers, and as we showed in the slides, actually today 335 are from the country, are Bahamian.
The Geneva-based cruise company with U.S. headquarters in South Florida will open Ocean Key MSC Marine Reserve in November, with all MSC Cruises sailing from Miami making a stop at Ocean Key. Reporting for our News, I'm Jasmine Brown.
All right, thanks, Jasmine. Still to come, changes to the road traffic laws to take effect by the end of the year. Stay tuned.